Hey Jules, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jewel Ivy and I am the owner of Jewel Ivy the clothing brand. And here on my YouTube channel, I make videos on fashion, sewing, and self-care. So if any of those interest you, feel free to check out the rest of the videos on my channel and subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys through the process of how I block printed on my dresses. This is one of them that I made that I'm wearing right now. And if you want to know how to make the dresses, I have a previous tutorial on that I posted last week. So I'll link that below in the description box if you want to watch how to make the dresses. But yeah, in today's video, I'm just showing you guys the process of me block printing from start to finish. And I'll include all of the supplies in the description box. But yeah, if you guys want to see me block prints, just keep watching. Here are all the supplies you'll need to start block printing, and I also link them in the description box below. So the first thing you want to do is take a piece of parchment paper or tracing paper and trace your image from your iPad, and then you're going to go over all of those lines to create a nice buildup of lead. My block is two-toned, so I'm going to place my image onto the gray side with the lead part of it facing down, and I'm just going to take my brayer and rub that all over the image until it has transferred. Then I'm going to take a Sharpie and go over all of those lines. Now I'm going to take my carving tool and start carving. How I like to carve is I start on the inside of my image, starting from a corner, and I work my way out. That way I don't accidentally slip up and go too far into the design. So I'm always going to be cutting away from my design, not towards it. Here is another block print I'm doing, and all I did to achieve this red color is I used some watered down acrylic paint and I painted that over the top and let it dry, and I repeated all the same steps. I just like to add the color when I'm doing more intricate designs, and also because it just looks cooler for you guys. Once I'm done carving all of my designs, I take a pair of scissors and I cut off all of the excess block from the edges of my design. To begin printing, I'm going to be using this Speedball fabric block printing ink, and I'm going to shake up the tube and massage it before I open it, just so that there isn't any uncombined ink on the inside. So you want to place a small line of ink onto your plate, and then take your roller and slowly pick up ink and roll the ink in both directions until you get a nice layer of ink on your plate. It should sound kind of sticky but not be too wet. Now I'm going to apply a thin, even layer of ink onto my block, and I'm going to stamp that onto a piece of paper about 2 or 3 times and repeat the inking process each time before I stamp. And this is to build up a good layer of ink on my block before I put it onto my clothes, and also to see how my design is going to show up on my clothes and if I need to carve it anymore. Now to begin printing on my clothes, I'm going to lay my dress out flat, and I'm going to insert a piece of cardboard to stop the ink from bleeding through to the other layer, and also so I have a flat surface to work on. So to print on my dress, I'm using the same technique as I did earlier on the paper, but this time I'm applying a little bit more ink to my block. Because I'm printing on fabric and the fabric likes to absorb the ink, I want to use more ink so that my design shows up. And I'm just going to take my brayer and press around evenly all throughout the design before lifting it and holding the fabric down while I lift up the block. Now I'm going to repeat those steps until my design is complete. So for this dress that I made right here, I used the Speedball fabric block printing ink. And this worked really, really good. It was super opaque. And as you can see, it printed pretty evenly. It barely had any patches. So this ink was really nice. And I'm gonna test it in the wash, but I think it's gonna stand up really well because a lot of people use this. So I really love this color. But when it got to the black dress and doing the gold, I didn't originally buy their gold paint. Here we go. Because the reviews online weren't good. It wasn't really opaque and it doesn't show up on darker fabrics. On lighter fabrics, it would probably work and look really nice, but for the darker fabrics that I was using, it was like looking like crap. It was barely showing up. It was super like patchy. And another thing is when you're printing on fabric, you have to use a lot more ink than when you're like, let's say block printing on like paper and stuff like that, because it soaks up the ink. So you have to layer your block a lot thicker than if you're printing on paper. So it was just not good for that. So I started with this paint for the gold. This is a gold paint that I originally started with because I saw someone swatch it in 2 YouTube videos and it was showing up super bright and super opaque and pigmented. So I was really excited to try this out, and it says on the container that you can use it for fabrics as well. So I went to block print with this, and it's so runny and liquidy, it doesn't stick to your roller, and it was just not easy to work with. I didn't realize this is like a full acrylic, so it's like a different consistency, and so I tried mixing it with a fabric medium, which didn't help at all. And then they said to maybe let it sit on your plate for a bit and let it get tacky. So I did that, but then it just was dry and clumpy and didn't work at all. So that was disappointing because this paint is really nice, but I would really recommend this for like, this is not for like fabric. Maybe you could screen print with it because it's so like fluid. But as far as like block printing on clothes, this was like not good consistency wise. Maybe if I had like a different medium to mix it with to thicken it up, it would be really nice, but for block printing, this was not good.
I forgot to include this tip in the beginning, but make sure if you did apply paint or even marker to your block before you begin printing. If you aren't printing with black, that'll just cover up everything. If it's a bright color like gold that I'm using, clean your block with a cotton ball and some rubbing alcohol so you can get away all of that excess ink and stuff so it won't show up on your design.
For the second option for the gold, I use the Speedball block printing ink in the metallic gold. And because the reviews online aren't that good as far as dark fabrics, on light fabrics, it performs pretty well. It's not the brightest paint that they have out there for fabric paint, but it's up there and it's pretty good. I was trying to avoid this, but I had to get it because there was no other like paints to use, and screen printing ink wasn't as good either. So I tried using this, and because it wasn't super opaque, I was mixing it with these powders to give it more of a shimmer and brighten the color and make it more vibrant. And so that was like kind of working, but it still was very patchy on the black, and you could see the black fabric through it a lot. So that was like really disappointing and sad. I like kept trying to make it work. I was trying to like switch the ratios of how much I'm using. So then for a last resort to really make this work, I said, okay, I mixed it with this opaque white to try to bring out the color more, and that definitely helped it. As you guys can see in the video, when I mixed it, I mixed a little bit of the white with the gold, and it made the pigment more opaque. It did change like the tone of it. It was more like leaning towards yellowish rather than like gold, but I evened it out with the powders. So I did like a little like concoction of all three, and that turned out pretty decent. But as you can see in the video, it still really wasn't that opaque, and it was still kind of patchy and not how I wanted it. I just wanted that like really nice like royal gold, like jewelry gold, and it was just not giving that, sadly. So then you could see me like with my paintbrush, I was like taking this powder and like putting it onto the wet oil paint, and that was looking cute. I can't lie, that was looking cute, but I'm not sure how well that would hold up in the wash because it's just like loose pigment sitting on the fabric. It's not like getting deposited into the fabric. So I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. And I'll show the black dress in this video, but I don't know, I think it's this powder or something, but it smells really strong of like toxic fumes. The dress does. Like when I walk past it, like it smells like, it doesn't smell right. It smells like toxic. So I don't know if I was supposed to like put this on top. But yeah, I don't know, I'm like really sad and disappointed because that was like my favorite design that I was really looking forward to doing. But it just didn't turn out good. I mean, I'll maybe try that. Like, I still like the block prints that I made. I'll probably try it on like a white button-up t-shirt. I was thinking of doing that next, but it just doesn't look good on the black, and I'm so bummed because like that dress fits so perfectly and it was so pretty, and I kind of like ruined it with the print. So now I'm trying to like figure out how to get it out because I still want to wear the dress. Or maybe I could just like wear it out, and if people are like, "Ooh, cute," I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, it's from the thrift." It's kind of like wacky. I'm not gonna actually tell them that I made it because it looks kind of busted, but yeah, that was my experience with this paint. This paint is really good. It's super opaque. This doesn't have like a strong smell to it. I was pretty close to the Brayer and my roller, and this doesn't have like a strong like smell. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have used the Pabeo Cetacolor. That has a really strong smell, but these really don't have a strong smell at all. They're really easy and good to work with, so I really love using these. I just wouldn't recommend like this gold on dark fabrics because it's just not gonna work. Yeah, I'll just let you guys keep watching the video and like seeing me do the process of like this stuff. Yeah, I just had to like cut in the middle of the video and like tell you guys some things. So yeah, well, let's get back to the video.
To cure my ink, I wait 24 to 48 hours, and once it's fully dried, I'm going to take it to my ironing board and lay it flat, and I'll stick a towel in between my 2 layers of fabric, and then I'm going to stick another towel on top of my design, and I'm going to hold my iron on top of the design and move it around all over the design for a total of 2 minutes at the highest heat setting that my fabric can handle.
Okay, jewels, that is the end of today's YouTube tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. If you did, feel free to check out the rest of the videos on my channel and subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.